friends, it's Aubree, and in this video I am sharing 4 meals I made for my family. They were easy and delicious, and I think we even found a couple new family favorites. Definitely check them out. I know you'll enjoy them as much as we did. This week I am starting off with a sausage, potatoes, and green beans skillet. And I saw this on Valerie's channel from The Hargit's Life, and she made it last week and it looked so good. I knew I had to make it for my family. So I'm just getting started. I peeled 4 potatoes, and then I'm just cutting them up into like bite-sized pieces, and I am going to boil them so that they're not all the way cooked, but that when I drain them and put them in with the skillet, that they don't have much longer to cook. These buffalo style and Monterey Jack sausages out of the freezer, thinking they were the better cheddar sausages, but they weren't. So I smelled them, they smelled spicy, and my son does not like spice. So wanting him to eat this dinner, I decided to use a different type of sausage. These are the Sam's Club deli style hot dogs you can get in the refrigerator section at Sam's Club. So I had another package left over from when we went to Sam's Club last weekend, so I just pulled them out and cut them up. They are really big and they tasted just like sausage. So I used, I think, 5 of them and cut them up into bite-sized pieces. Then I put them into a heated skillet with about a tablespoon or 2 of butter, and I slowly warmed these up because I was cooking the potatoes at the same time. Once they were cooked, I added, and the potatoes were finished, I added the potatoes and mixed them up, and then added the can of drained green beans. Now I will say, I don't remember if Valerie used 2 cans of green beans or just 1, but for us, I think we definitely needed 2 cans of green beans. They're just, maybe I had too many potatoes, I don't know, but I would have liked to have more green beans in the dish. I added some pepper and garlic powder to season this up. I did not add salt because I thought there would be a lot of salt in the hot dogs and the green beans. So I did end up adding salt to my own plate just for taste. I let this cook for a little bit longer on the stove, hoping to brown up and crisp up the potatoes. I will say I think I cooked the potatoes just a little bit too long. Overall, this was an excellent meal. We are definitely going to have it again. I served this dish with a crescent roll on the side, and everybody in my family just loved it. So thank you, Valerie, for the meal inspiration. The inspiration for this dish was from a meal I saw Kim from Kim's Farmhouse Life make last year. I went through all of her videos and I could not find the video where she made this. I'm sure it's still up, but I just wasn't able to find it. So anyway, I am making a sort of taco bake. I think her recipe used enchilada sauce, And when I went to make it, I realized I didn't even have enchilada sauce, so I was really just winging it and coming up with something that I thought was similar. I even went and looked through recipes and there were variations, so I just came up with something that I thought my family would enjoy, and I was right. This was just so good, and we are definitely going to be making it again. The first thing I did was chop up one onion into small pieces and start cooking them to soften before adding the ground beef. Once I added the ground beef, I just cooked it up until it was brown. I used 90-10 ground beef, so I didn't need to remove any of the grease. Then, once the ground beef was cooked, I added a drained can of black beans and a drained can of corn, and I just mixed that up all together. Because I didn't have any enchilada sauce, I made do by adding an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I probably could have added a little bit more sauce, but I wasn't sure how much I needed. And then 3 tablespoons of the Tones taco seasoning. I get this at Sam's Club. It is my favorite taco seasoning that is out there. Then I'm just going to mix all of that up into a mixture and let it cook for a little bit. Like I said, I think it could have used a little bit more tomato sauce or maybe a little bit of water, but the flavor of it was so good. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, then poured my mixture into a greased 9x13 pan. Once I pour the taco mixture into the pan, I'm going to sprinkle some shredded cheddar cheese over the top before pouring over the cornbread mixture. Now, I don't know what happened to the footage, but I did make up 2 boxes of Jiffy mix by following the directions on the back of the box and adding a half a cup of sour cream to the cornbread mixture before pouring the cornbread mixture over the top of the taco mixture. I spread the cornbread mixture over the top evenly and then sprinkled it with a little bit more cheese and cooked it for about 25-30 minutes. I inserted a knife and made sure that it came out clean before taking it out. I think it baked for about 30 minutes. I served the taco bake with some sour cream and lettuce and tomato on the side. I know my husband also added some hot sauce, and it was just something that we all enjoyed. One of my husband's favorite meals for me to make him is chicken Parmesan. Now, I usually only make it a few times a year because it is a little bit of a process to make with the breading the chicken and cooking it up in the skillet and then baking it. It takes a bit. So I found this chicken Parmesan bake that I thought I would give a try. I will say that it had some of the chicken Parmesan flavors, but it just didn't hit that crispy chicken type of meal for me. But it was good. I am going to link the recipe in the description box below so you can check it out for yourself. I will say that I added only 4 chicken breasts instead of 6 like it asked for. So again, that could be why it didn't turn out exactly the way it was supposed to. So I'm adding 4 breasts to a greased dish pan and sprinkling it with some salt, pepper, and garlic powder, as well as some basil. Then I am going to pour over some spaghetti sauce. Use whatever sauce you liked. I believe I used traditional ragu. And then you are going to sprinkle over some cheese. It asked for Parmesan. I didn't have Parmesan, and my husband couldn't find it. So I had an Italian blend cheese and then some mozzarella that I sprinkled over. And then this is where you add your croutons. It did not say to break them up, but I kind of tried to smush them up in the bag a little bit. There were definitely some big pieces still left. And I just spread those over the top and then added the rest of the spaghetti sauce and the rest of the cheese. And then I topped it with some of the sprinkle, like in the can Parmesan that I had, just to give it that little Parmesan flavor at the end. And then I put some parsley on top and I baked it in the oven till the chicken was done. I did make sure to use my meat thermometer to check that it was at least 165 degrees in the chicken, just to make sure that everything was cooked correctly. The chicken was very tender when it came out. You could cut it with a fork. It was just really good. My husband really enjoyed this meal, which I was happy about because it was kind of for him since he loves chicken Parmesan so much. I also love chicken Parmesan, but it just didn't give me that chicken Parmesan style to me. So anyway, it was a good dinner, but not a replacement for chicken Parmesan. This is how it turned out. It was so good. I think I say that about everything. Not everything is so good. It wasn't my favorite meal of the week, but that's okay. This would have been great with like a side salad or some garlic knots or Texas toast or something. We just didn't have that on hand and didn't feel like going to the store, but it would be a good thing to have. This last dinner is super easy. So I get these breakfast pizzas at Aldi. They are just really good. This was a new flavor that I hadn't tried before. I think it was the bacon and pepper and onion. I like the original one that we usually get, but this one was still pretty good. And then I baked it per the directions on the back of the box. Now you see me cracking 6 eggs into a bowl, and then I add a splash of milk, and I'm just gonna scramble them up in some butter. That is how I like to cook my eggs. It is just, the butter just, I don't know, it just does something to the eggs. So if you've never tried cooking your scrambled eggs in a little pat of butter, I definitely recommend it. It's what you need to do. And here I am trying to film it with one hand and scramble the eggs with another hand. I usually hold the handle when I'm doing this. Probably most people do. But because I'm not holding the handle, I'm just kind of free-for-alling it, and this is what it turns out. I was able to do it, but it just kind of went everywhere. I sprinkled a little bit of cheddar cheese over the top of the pizza just to make it a little bit cheesier. And this is what it looked like when it came out of the oven. This was pretty good. I definitely recommend it, but I like the original a little bit more. Now I'm cutting it into 8 slices. The crust is made out of biscuit dough. It's not like regular pizza crust, so that's part of the breakfast part. And the sauce is gravy, and then there's little pieces of sausage, and this pizza has bacon as well as green peppers and onions on it. My son was not a fan, I will say that. I served this with the scrambled eggs and some green grapes on the side. It was such a nice, light, easy dinner for Saturday night. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner. I greatly appreciate it. If you could, please give this video a like and maybe comment down below and say hi. It really helps my channel so much. I'd love it if you subscribed to my YouTube family. I will be back next week with more grocery hauls, What's for Dinner, and other videos in between. Have a great week, y'all. Bye!